Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope that you are doing well. Today I want to share with you this amazing yam pottage or yam porridge or Mpotompoto if you are from Ghana. It is so good. Okay, let's get started. So to start off, I have got my yam, which is the start of the dish. You can use potatoes or any kind of thing that you want. Okay. And then I am going to be using some smoked mackerel. I picked up these smoked mackerel from Aldi. I am never making my own smoked mackerel ever again. It is really good. Okay. And to this, I am going to be adding some onions, scotch bonnet, garlic, ginger, tomatoes, some dried fish, and some salted fish as well. Then I have got some palm oil, some seasoning cubes, salt and all-purpose seasoning, some spinach, and some crayfish powder as well. So to get started, I am just going to blend together the ginger, garlic, onions, and tomatoes, and then I'll be using this as the base of the yam porridge. So once blended, I am going to start making like a stew base for this yam porridge. And to do this, I am going to add in some palm oil into my pan. You can use as much or as little as you want, but palm oil is really needed. Okay, you can't do away with this palm oil in this recipe. All right. Then to this, I am going to add in some chopped onions. And then my salted fish. This is optional, but I promise you it adds so much flavor to the dish. Okay, so give everything a quick stir, and then I'm going to allow this to fry for about 2 minutes. So whilst the oil and the onions are frying, I am going to be cutting up my yam. You can use as much yam as you want. You can use sweet potatoes or regular potatoes, but I like to use yam. So one way to take the skin off the yam is to do it like how I'm doing. Just put it on a chopping board. If you don't want to lose any fingers, this is your safest option. However, this is how I grew up knowing how to peel off yam skin. So this is how I generally do it. But if you're not confident doing that, please put it on the chopping board and use the first method. Keep your fingers, don't chop them off, okay? So once I've peeled off all the skin, I am going to be dicing up the yam, okay? I want to have it in smaller chunks. If you want it in bigger chunks, of course, do that, but I prefer it to be in smaller chunks because it will cook faster and you don't have to spend the whole day in the kitchen waiting for the yam to finish cooking. And also, please have some water nearby. So once you dice up your yam, put them straight into the water. Otherwise, they will discolor and it won't look nice at all. So now that I've finished chopping up everything, I'm going to leave them in the water and get back to the stew. So yes, as I was cutting up the yam, I kind of slightly burnt the onions a little bit, but it's okay, no big deal. We'll just continue, we move, okay? So now I'm going to be adding in the blended mixture that we did before. I'm going to add this and allow this to cook for about 10-15 minutes before I add in the yam. I also added a little bit of water to thin it out because we are making a stew, but we're not making like a stew. We want it to be like a porridge consistency, hence yam porridge, right? So you want to make it not too liquidy, but just a little bit liquidy, okay? If that even makes sense. So after about 10 minutes, I am checking up on the stew and it is looking good. It is not fully cooked yet, which is fine. That's what you want. You don't want it to cook fully before you add in your yam. You want the yam to also absorb the flavors of the tomatoes and the palm oil, okay? So I'm now going to be adding in the yam or your potato or whatever you're having. Just add it at this point and then give everything a stir and then check the water level. Okay, if you want your porridge to be sort of on a thick side, then you can leave this, but I want mine to be slightly not watery but not too thick as well. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of water and then I will cover this and allow this to cook until the yam is nice and tender. So I'm now going to be adding in my seasoning cube. This is a shrimp cube that I'm adding, and to this I will also be adding in 1 Maggi cube, but feel free to use any seasoning cube of your choice. I'm also going to add in some all-purpose seasoning because you already know if you watch this channel, all-purpose seasoning is the way, and some salt to taste as well. Then I'll give everything a nice stir and then I'm going to leave this to cook until the yam is nice and tender. So after about 10 minutes, I believe, I am checking up on the yam to see how it's doing because you might need to give it a stir every now and then, otherwise the yam will be stuck on the bottom. So you want to give this a stir every now and then to ensure that it is not sticking or burning on the bottom of the pan, depending on what pan you're using. If you're using a non-stick, I don't think you're going to have much problems here. So I'm just going to see if the yam is cooked, and yes, the yam is cooked as the fork goes through it nicely. This is why it's important that you cut your yams really small. However, I am going to allow this to cook and be a bit more mushy. Some people might want to mash it up a little bit to make it mushy, but I like a bit of bite when I'm having my yam porridge. I want to be able to bite into something. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like this. And now I am adding in my fish. You can add any dried fish of your choice. This is dried catfish and that is what I'm using. It gives it a very nice smoky flavor as well. Then I'm adding in the mackerel that I got from Aldi, guys. If you haven't tried this mackerel, please go ahead, please go and buy it. It is really nice. It's a bit salty though, but it's really nice. And I'm adding in my crayfish powder as well. I'm giving everything a quick stir and then I'm going to allow this to further cook to get all the things together and make sure that it's nice, okay? Also, if you don't like fish, you can use any other meat, but generally this is made with some fish and it tastes so good. Okay, so I added in some water to thin it out a little bit as it's getting a bit too thick for my liking, but if you like it this thick, by all means do not add any water to it. I'm just going to cover this up and allow this to simmer on very low heat until everything is nicely combined, and we are done. Okay, this is how simple it is to make this dish. It is good. Okay, it's really good. It's like a comforting meal that you want to eat whenever, especially when you're not feeling well. This is the meal to go to. It's very spicy and it's good. I like a pop of color in my yam porridge because, let's be fair, it's not the most appealing looking meals. Okay, so I like to add a bit of green. This is spinach that I've added. I've just chopped up some fresh spinach leaves and I'm adding this for a pop of color. At this point, I've already turned off the heat, so the remaining heat is going to cook the spinach. You know, spinach doesn't take a long time to cook, so you don't need any fire for this at all. But if you don't like the spinach, or just don't do it. You can add any vegetable that you like, but I like this pop of color and that is what I'm going for. And there we are, our beautiful yam porridge, yam pottage, and Mpotompoto is done. You guys, I won't lie to you. This dish is really nice. It was spicy. It was a little bit sweet because the yam had some sweetness in it. It was just so good. The palm oil made it taste so good. Watching this, I want to make this again and again and again. Okay, if you made it so far in this video and you haven't yet subscribed, if this delicious meal has not made you to subscribe, please, I am begging you, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to comment below and let me know, have you tried this meal before? Have you heard about this meal before? And just let me know if you ever tried. Okay, give me a thumbs up by liking the video. Don't forget to share this video with everyone. Tell them about Bex Flavor. Tell them to join our family. Okay, please, pretty please. Okay, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.